could have a steam
Yeah,
train.
it's definitely a moist Monday. We all love moist Mondays, don't we?
Your tracks. You could have an aeroplane flying. If you bring your blue sky back, all you do is call me. I'll be anything you need. You could have a big dipper going up and down all around the bends. You could have a bumper car bumping. This amusement never ends. I wanna be sledgehammer. Why don't you call my name? Oh, let me be your sledgehammer. This will be my testimony. Yeah. Yeah. Show me around your fruit cage, 'cause I will be your honeybee. Open up your fruit cage, where the sweetest can be. I wanna be your sledgehammer.
They taken the Hobbit to Lawsville. They taken the Hobbit to Lawsville, to Lawsville, to Lawsville. They taken the Hobbit to Lawsville.
Shakalaka.
This stream is protected by otters. Welcome to Otter Country.
What's up? What's up?
Water ushy gushy, water ushy gushy, water ushy gushy.
All right.
Tell me where in the world is
Alexandre017.
Hell if I know. What's up, everybody? Happy Thursday. Welcome to Double Trouble Time. Hope you're well. I'm going to go quick through the intro stuff so I can get going with the thing for today. So welcome in Greg, of course, that LOL guy.
LOL Lego.
Second half of Double Trouble. Laldo coming up this weekend, guys. Don't forget, Saturday morning on Greg's channel, Laldo. Check it out. KO with the first, and I believe that with that, KO has sealed the first for the month of May. So congrats, KO. Because I don't think... Yeah, if I was streaming Saturday, it'd be one more day, but I'm not. So that is it for May. So congrats, KO. TJ, welcome in. Rob, hello. Coaster M's, welcome in. How you doing? Dave, Map of the Miles. What's up? Bad Binda. Is everybody so far that said hello? I believe so. All right, cool. All right, so today is Double Trouble. That means hour and a half or so here, and then we roll to Greg and see what he's got up his sleeve. So before I do anything else here, get some background music. All right, so usually it's just me on Thursday before we go to Greg. Something a little different tonight. I have a special guest. I'm not planning a June 1st trip, that's for sure. It's Chicago. Anyway, so this person I've known, gosh, 5 years. Almost 5 years at this point. And he actually started streaming on Twitch before I did, and before that, he's been on YouTube for a long time. Kind of dropped out of sight for a little bit, but he's coming back now, and he and I talked, and I wanted to bring him on so you guys could also have a chance to get to know him as I do, and hopefully have another person you can hang out with and watch if you're available to, during the week. Without any more delay here, I'm going to bring in my friend. This is Scott from 36 Bricks.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome. Thanks for having me, Matt. I appreciate you.
What's up, my dude?
I really do.
RDM, welcome, dude. What's up? How you doing? Welcome in.
I am good.
So we got a few people here. So Dave knows you, right?
Yes. So shout out to everybody in here. I mean, Dave, Mapping the Miles, know him. Greg. No, I've seen some names I haven't seen in forever. King Oldendorf, RDM. Like, you guys, oh my gosh! Like, there's so many people in here. It's awesome, and it sucks because I love getting to know you guys, and I got to know you guys in the past, and due to certain things, I've kind of fallen off the map a little bit. But I'm glad to be back.
Chicago to Chicago.
So we talked about Tangia last night, and people are firing off a couple things through Tangia, including TTS. That's what that was.
Okay.
So yes, I'm going to actually go ahead and modify my title now because Scott is now with us, and I want people to make sure they know his name. Make sure that shows up here.
And just want to say hi to PTG. So what's up? I hope you're doing well. Again, Greg, King Oldendorf, Mapping the Miles. Man, there's so many good people in here. RDM.
This is a fantastic community. It really is. I've told people I'm so thankful that
Mbinda.
These these folks are always around to hang out and support me, and they support Greg. You know, a lot of these other people are streamers too, Mapping the Miles, Binda, TJ, KO. A lot of these folks are also streamers, so we're all really, really good about trying to support each other as much as we can.
Ads
Great.
are starting. Please stay tuned to the stream, and thank you for your support.
And back up. So that's actually
Coaster.
That's another streamer named Skrills. And she kindly lent me her voice for TTS.
Nice.
So she comes up with the ad comments. Yes, welcome in, Coaster. This is Scott 36 Bricks. I've known him again almost 5 years.
Yeah, you've put up with me for that long. I don't understand
my backstory. So he and I met, actually, and Greg as well, as a couple other folks in our group. Some of us met in a YouTube community that will remain nameless. We'll say that, because we don't need to rehash that, but that's where we met. No worries, KO. Thanks for being here and lurking. Appreciate it. And that's, for good or for bad, that's the first community I really started participating in after I got back into LEGO. It is what it is, but I got to meet a lot of great people there, including some of the folks that are in chat with us, as well as Scott. And Scott moved on to doing other things himself outside of that community and started doing YouTube and doing streaming, and I followed him to that. First on YouTube, and then he moved to Twitch before I did as well. So other than Jang, Scott was one of the first people I really started following on Twitch because he was doing it over here. So yeah, there's been a long time, long history.
Yeah, definitely. Matt's been stalking me for almost 5 years now. I think
Yep.
it's actually been 5 years. I think we've actually known each other for longer than 5 years, but only by like a couple months. And so my version of this story is it's kind of similar. We met in another another person's community, and we got to talking. We got to hanging out. We realized we're both city builders. We have a passion for monorail, to say the least. And we just started kind of spitballing ideas off of each other when it came to mocks. And hey, what do you think about this? And what do you think about that? And it wasn't just the two of us; it was the community as a whole. And it was really great to have that camaraderie and that connection with certain people. I mean, me and Matt would sit there for hours live chatting, not live streaming or anything, but just chatting via Discord or something, via video chat and stuff. And it was really great. It was really great. So, and Matt's been an amazing help because I don't know anything about tech. And he is a tech guru.
This is truth.
And so like when I have streaming, questions, or I have questions on programs and what he's doing, because I've seen him do great, and I've profusely apologized to him because when he streams, it's really in that same time where I go to pick up my daughters, and I live in the middle of nowhere, so I can't be a part of streams or chats because like I'm waiting for my daughters and it sucks. So it's really been awesome to have people like Matt who are just so giving and so happy to give and be supportive, and it's awesome. So I can't thank Matt enough. I know Greg, Dave, like there's so many to name. So it's awesome to see people around like that.
Okay. So thank you, dude. I appreciate that. I'm going to take a brief detour for 1 minute. I want to thank Coaster Bricks M's for her sub. And whenever somebody does a sub on my channel right now, I eat these little sour gummy worm things.
Nice.
So they can enjoy seeing my sour bleh face for a minute. So thank you, M's. I appreciate it. Thank you for being here. You're a champion. Big heart to you, Matt Hart, So
I just like.
Hey, Titanium J, how's it going, man? Good to see you.
God.
Clipsy's Bricks, good to see you, man. I haven't
Clipsy. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, freaking amazing mockster. I mean,
Yeah,
he is truly a mock star in my book. I mean, some of the stuff that I've seen on his YouTube channel, holy cow! I'm taking notes. I'm taking notes.
Sorry. These things are just like, but I'd rather do these
Those
than
are
be.
sour to you, really?
They are. Mm-hmm.
Wow. See, to me, like,
I'm
I'm
sensitive
not trying
to
to
it.
dog on you on your own stream, but at the same time, I'm like, for me, those are just sugary. Hey, Medusa! Gosh, haven't seen you in forever either. How's it going? Hope you're doing well. No, but those are just sugary to me. They're not even sour.
Medusa comes in firing.
Hey there, Coaster Bricks 97. Thank you for your re-sub to Otter Country for 3 months. That's super awesome of you.
Wow, Tangia is delayed today, guys. I don't know why that took so long, but thank you again, Coaster. Medusa, hello, welcome in. Thank you for coming in like that on fire.
Excuse me.
Yes, thank you, Red. Yes, I did fix the CrowdStrike bug. I did, at least for my university, because I was the only one around when that happened, at least in my team. Clipsy, welcome in. TJ, of course. G Monkey, what's up? How you doing?
Hey, G Monkey.
I know you know who this is. So, for folks just coming in, normally on Thursdays for Double Trouble, I just hang out and I build for an hour and a half. We just have a chill time. Well, chill in quotes. But I was able to work out this time with Scott to have him on as a guest, which we've never done this before.
Well, we haven't done it on your channel, so
no.
I've had you on as a guest on a couple of mine.
Many moon ago.
We've talked about it so much, though.
Oh God, here comes a joke.
Do I want to know?
Computer late for work? A bomb that hard drive okay day?
Thank you, Redmond. I appreciate that. No, I'm sorry. Let me see. Thank you. Yes, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. That is amazing. And you're awesome, though. Oh, and I'm going to do this for Ems because if I can freaking type. Make sure you guys are following Coaster because she's going to stream this summer. We want to give her love and support.
Lego News. The torso helmet and new molded pauldron for the upcoming 327th Clone Trooper have leaked. The Nike Dunk set has been officially revealed 1180 pieces, $100, July 1st. Release. This has been Titanium Clicker with the news.
One of the things that we kind of do in this little group is so Titanium J is known for being on top of leaks and reveals and all that stuff.
Okay.
And if one of us is live and we've got like the Tangia TTS stuff like this, he'll come on and he'll do Lego news like that. Mm-hmm. And we joke, we call him Titanium Clicker because one of the known leakers, revealers on Instagram is Brick Clicker, I think his name is. So I nicknamed him Titanium Clicker because of that.
Nice.
It should, just give it a go and see how it goes. See how it feels. That's all you got to do.
I mean, that's how we all started, right? Like you just.
That is how I started.
You don't think you need to start with multiple cameras and multiple graphics and just like you don't need all that. Just hop on and eventually you'll get to the point where you're like, oh, I want to add this and that. I think a lot of people get overwhelmed thinking that they have to do so much, and in reality they really don't, at least when they're starting. Because I mean it's like driving. If you're going to hit a couple bushes or rocks or whatever, but eventually you'll become a pro and get to it.
Well, I mean, we started talking about this before the clicker news. So months before I even hit the go live button myself, I joined you on your channel.
Yep.
And what was I doing? I was literally I was in this room still, but I had a much different orientation. I had a different desk set up at the time. I had an old computer, old desktop, and I had a simple little webcam. That's all that I had. And I kind of just put it somewhere so that I was up there. And then I jumped in however we set it up. And That's what I did. And then it was like, I don't know, 5 or 6 months later, I finally said, you know what, I'm going to give this a try. And that's where it came from.
Yep. I mean, that's pretty much how I started. I mean, I was streaming on a laptop on a door for a desk. Like it was a white top door, which I still have this. It's actually my tool shelf now, but it's literally a solid core white door with a white top, and then under it was a entertainment system rolling entertainment system, and I would lean on it and it would move. So just imagine, like, as I'm building or whatever, it just started moving away from me or toward me, and I'd have to pull it back. And then I only had one camera, and it was a close-up mug shot. There was nothing to it. And and eventually I was like, you know what? People can't see what I'm doing. All right, let's get a second camera. I mean, most of the equipment I already had because I'm a photographer by trade and do video work, but ultimately, like, you got to start somewhere. But don't think that you have to jump into the deep end. Just get your feet wet a little bit, see how it works, and then and go from there.
And the other thing too is, so you said, Scott, you started right away. You just went on camera.
Mm-hmm.
But when I hit the button, I didn't. I was only doing this for a long time.
Well, actually, that's actually not true.
Model.
Yeah, so so live streaming, yes, I hit the ball running with a face cam. But when I started doing YouTube videos, I wasn't. My face was not on camera at all. Like, and people would tell me, "Hey, why aren't you showing yourself on camera?" And I'm like, I don't know.
Hi, Alex. Bye, Alex.
Hey, Alex.
Draco, welcome in.
Hey, Draco.
I made a decision myself early on that I wanted the focus to be this and what I was doing, and that this didn't really matter. Right? Because who cares, right? And that's how I felt.
We still don't. I'm just kidding.
That's fair. I mean, I literally could just go back to this and nobody would give a shit.
Right.
So, but the funny thing is, I didn't literally do this basically until my first Brickworld in 23. It was right around that time, maybe shortly before that I really did the face reveal. And then when I went to Chicago, that really was like the moment, the face reveal, because people were like, oh, that's you. Oh, okay. And after you do that, it's like, it doesn't really matter anymore. So.
He's playing coy. He's that celebrity that wants to walk through Disneyland and not get noticed.
I mean, I probably wouldn't really get noticed, to be fair, but so I mean, Greg's the same way. Greg started just like me as a hand model. He didn't do the face reveal for a very long time either. But then you have somebody like Titanium J. TJ didn't start on his own streams. He was joining other streams initially at first. Well, in terms of live streaming, he was doing video work too, but he was showing up over on YouTube, like on Good Morning Brickworld, for example, on that stream, those channels. But when he came over to Twitch to hang out with us, now it's basically been about 2 years, because he did right after Chicago 23. Everybody already kind of knew who he was, so he went right out for the face cam and then the build cam thing. So Alex, I think, did the same thing, where when he started streaming, he basically just was already out there. So it just, yeah, and I'm kind of directing this more towards Coaster still at this point, but just, it always depends. On just do what you feel comfortable with. I mean, granted, some of us have already seen you because you shared Instagram pictures and you shared a couple things on, like, my Discord. But if you only have one camera right now, that's all that you need to start, and just feel it out and just focus on what you're building. Don't worry about this, right? That's not a priority. People are going to be there to see this and to hang out with you. That's what it's going to be about, fundamentally.
And don't think it's about this either. Like, don't think you have to set up your own studio. Don't think that you have to have all of these builds, like, because there's a lot of people that are just starting out with sets, and then that's how they get comfortable, because you're used to, like, okay, now I'm going to build. Now, in addition to build, you have to, if people are, going wild in chat, you have to manage that time frame and manage that multitask, because you have to build and then you have to talk, because you don't want people thinking you're alienating them or not talking with them or whatever. So, just like, dig in the kiddie pool, fish around a little bit, get your feet wet, and then build up, and you'll do really good. The key, I will say, to this, to doing this, whether your goal is to do it, for financial reasons or just to hang out, is don't quit. And that's that's where I failed, because I had so much going on in my personal life that I had to step away, and it's almost been a recurring thing year after year, but I'm trying not to, and that's been hard.
I mean, it's tough. Scott and I were talking for a while last night. And apologies to Mbinda and to Alex. That's why I missed your streams, because Scott and I were catching up and talking about today, and we had a very long catch-up chat last night.
Yeah.
So,
and it was great. It was great. Matt is so long-winded. No, I'm kidding. It was really great to catch up. It was really great to catch up, because we hadn't done that in a long minute,
a little while,
and I miss that. I miss being able to do that with people.
And actually, and that's something I wanted to kind of let this be a getting to know you situation, because people are here for me. It doesn't matter. They know me, but I want them to have a chance to know you, and hopefully to know more about what you do. So why don't you take a few minutes, dude, if you want to kind of give an overview, just like what you like to do with your Lego, if you want to talk about your background, anything that you feel comfortable with, just so people can know you. And then, like, when you're streaming, like, what you do with all that stuff.
Okay. So for those of you that don't know me, so I started off basically just buying multiple sets, combining them, and making something bigger and better. That's kind of my bread and butter. I have started deep diving into more and more mocks, but I've kind of been on hold because I've been organizing my parts, because and I'm not trying to boast or anything like that, but I do have an extensive part wall. It's rather big, and so if we could take a minute just to take a look at that. So this is my part wall, and this is a live camera, and it would take me forever to just get organized. And so once I started to really get organized, and this is thank you to Greg. Greg, this is fucking your fault, if I can cuss on this on here. This is your fault right here. When I started doing this, I blamed you.
Fun. Cheers to blaming Greg. Let's all blame Greg. I'm good with that.
It's Greg's fault. It's Greg's fault. It's Greg's fault. It's Greg's fault.
Always.
So
I'm glad people agree with
that. Yeah, so I was doing things way differently, and this is what I was talking about before, where you start one way and you kind of work into a different way. But I would go to marketplaces, and I would go to yard sales and Facebook Marketplace, offer up all of those places, and just buy parts.
Wow.
I'm getting banned.
Yeah.
Well, shit happens. It's not the first time I've been banned from somewhere. But it's one of those things where so I started, I would look at a set and go, hey, you know what? I'm going to buy a couple of those, and I'm going to build something cool. Mm-hmm. And when I started doing that, people were like, hey, we see a front picture. What about the interior details? What about, the back. What does this look like? What does this angle look like? And that's where essentially I try to post more pictures. And again, we were in, Discord communities. And with Discord, unless you're paying that premium price, you can't post that many pictures. You can't, there's a limit, right? So what was happening is, because I had the technology, because like I said, I'm a photographer, so I have the gear. I just did a quick video. And the only place I knew where to post it was YouTube. And I posted it on YouTube, and within a month I had 1,000 subscribers. And it just, and I was like, holy crap. And people were commenting saying, are you going to live stream? Are you like, da 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 da? So, I tested a couple live streams out just to see how it goes. And then I was live streaming for a long time, like every single day. And sometimes multiple days where I'd live stream in the morning, live stream at night. And I got addicted to it. And so I was just building and building and building. And now I have the room that I have now, and I keep making changes and all of that. And, my room, Matt likes to tease me because my city is a shambles. This is my entire Lego room. And as you can see, it is a mess because I've been wanting to revamp it and then change things up. And I don't feel like I should, complete it because I know I'm going to change it, and I don't want to be that person that changes it all the time. So that's kind of how I started and what I do. There's projects that I've started that I got builder's block on, right? And then I would put that build aside and go back to it later, and that's kind of the process. That's what I do. So now I post on YouTube. I try to post Monday or Tuesday morning or Tuesday afternoon, Pacific Standard Time, because I am in Southern California. And then I do a YouTube short at the first part of the week, and then the regular video at the end. And then I've reduced my streaming down to 1 day a week, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So while you're at work or hanging out, whatever, like Matt does, come hang out. I understand if you can't chat a whole lot, but just come out and have some fun. And that's me. That's what the deal is.
Well, that didn't take very much time at all.
I'm very fast talking. I mean, it's kind of a short story. I mean, I've only been building, oddly enough, for about 6 years. I started in about 2019, got connected in the community around that same time. And like I said, I mean, and it was around the time where I moved. And that was a process too. And like I said, I live out in the middle of nowhere. Even though I live in Southern California, I live out in the middle of nowhere. So there's not, like I was telling Matt, like I don't have friends or buddies that I can go grab drinks with because I don't drink. My night of a good time is either going to a movie theater. It's like old school 80s, 90s. Going to a movie, or going to bowling, or going to play pool or billiards, depending on where you're at. But but yeah, so and it's my garage. So that's a plus, but it's also a negative because it gets dusty in here like nobody else's business. It's hot. I mean, it's 85 degrees right now. I have a fan on me and it's not good enough. That's why I'm wearing a white shirt. Luckily, I have a dad shirt under it, so it's not see-through, and you're not seeing more than you guys want to.
Yes, thank you. Yes. So Rob had that comment about the size of the space, right? So everybody is there's always somebody else that people are envious of. And like I said, I've known Scott for a while, and I saw his space, knowing what I've got, which isn't bad compared to other people. And I'm like, well, shit, if I had that, the things I could do, because I don't build on the same scale that Scott does. Scott magnifies some really nice builds with his mocks. I build it just like a regular modular size level for most of my stuff. But if I had that kind of space, the things I could do, oh man. But I mean, just it's everybody's like, I wish I had more, and it never ends. We know Bricklock. He's moved into his house. He's got that massive basement that's like 3,000 square feet of space he's going to use. So wow. There's the well-known Canadian YouTuber that has a warehouse now. Mm-hmm. So there's always you want more, and it's never enough.
It's not. I mean, and me and Matt, we've joked about this before, and not just us two, but with others. Like, an AFOL always needs more time to build Lego, space to build Lego, money to build Lego, and then ways to get dust off Lego. That's what I usually joke about. And it's true. I mean, because I am very blessed that I do have this much space. It is my garage. I do have 5 acres of land, so we don't need to park our cars in here. I did, the condition of me taking over the garage was that I build my wife a shed to store all of our stuff. So I had to build that. And obviously I had to kind of terraform the garage a little bit. And I'm still doing that 5 years later. But it doesn't happen overnight. And like Matt said, you always need more. Like, you're always gonna, like, I'm in the middle of a couple different projects, and I look and I'm like, with all of the parts I have, I still have to order crap. And I'm organized now, so I know I don't have it. Because as Matt can attest, there would be hours upon hours on stream where all I'm doing is looking through parts. Because I would put parts in a shoebox size bin like this, and it would be all black or all red, and I still have some like that because I'm still filtering through, but it's not an easy process. And it's taken me a lot of hours these last 5 months just trying to get my mental away from some life stuff going on. And and it's helped. So it's kind of one of those, you get lost in the sauce and start dipping.
But see, I will take all the leisure I want to complain about my space, and my thoughts about your space, because if you made a choice to do other things in that room elsewhere instead of in that room, you would have more space than you do. So yes. Just saying.
Yeah. I mean, I hold yoga classes in this room. No, I mean, there is I started designing shirts, and that's a section of the room. I have my treadmill that I need to get rid of, not get rid of permanently, but I need to get out of this room. Obviously, if I actually if I had a spare bedroom, which my oldest daughter is out of here in 3 years, this might turn into that room, and then now I have this, but then I'm afraid I would never come out here. But yeah, I mean, you always need more of those primary things. You always need more space, more time, more money, and more Lego.
Absolutely. Welcome back, Alex. Me gambling. Alex comes back and he gambles points, whatever. So I was going to go ahead and do some work on the Gundam build here. Scott, if there's anything you want to highlight in terms of builds you've done that people can see, feel free to talk about that stuff too.
Yeah, I can do that. So what I decided to kind of work on today, because like I said, I have so many projects that I'm working on, and it's just a matter of, I start a project, I get builder's block, so I put it in my backlog, or I start a project and don't have the parts I need, but don't necessarily have the finances to order those parts, so I put that aside, and then an opportunity comes my way, and I start working on that. But this is kind of one of the projects that I've been working on for a little while now, and I basically took, if I can figure out how to show you guys, yeah, I basically took Emma's art school and essentially turned it into a modular building. Now, Matt says that I magnify things to the fullest. I have done that to learn that when I'm going to get to the point where I'm going to run out of space, and I'm not going to be able to do that anymore. So that is kind of the downfall. I mean, when you go big, you have to have the space to go big. And some builds, yeah, you can, like, I doubled the Daily Bugle, and it's great, but I still kept it for the most part within its same orientation. And I multiplied the boutique hotel. I multiplied the police station. I actually had a giant Avengers Tower that is now disassembled Johnny Five in a bin. I took it to a display event because I'm in multiple lugs, and if you don't know what a lug is, it's a Lego user group recognized by Lego as builders, and kind of go from there. Well, I took it to an event, put it in a bin, and had to slam on brakes a couple times because of traffic or whatever. Anyway, it's a crumbled mess. But this is currently what I'm working on. It's Emma's art school. The exterior is pretty much completely done. Let me add some light to it a little bit. So I did my street work here, did some other side work here where there's a little, patio here. Over here, there's bike racks. I don't know if you can see that. Hold on. There's some bike racks. And then I kept the overall look and feel of the build, but I just expanded it. So on the interior here, because I tend to leave the interiors last, I just kind of put in some colorful flooring, some wood flooring for kind of an artsy Art Deco kind of feel. And then so I need to insert the details to it. I have been doing, a lot of people do staircases. I've actually, to save space, I've actually been working in elevators. It's more practical for space, and it alleviates a lot of space. I mean, because a staircase would probably take up this whole section versus a mock elevator is literally just taking up wall space. Right. And then I have yet to do anything really on the inside, but this is the space I'm working with on the inside. And I should actually do the sky camera instead. So this is the space I'm working with. I'll have the elevator to ensure continuity. I'll probably put the bathroom over here somewhere and then make a studio apartment. And then the top floor is basically been a catch-all. So I started working on parts, and then I'm like, no, not sure exactly what I want to do. So I ended up throwing them in the top, and that's where they are now. And I kind of that's kind of what I tend to do with a lot of my builds is I do try to stick to a 3 to 4 story mock because of space. I mean, I can go higher, but and sometimes I'll go 4 or 5 floors, but I don't want to overshadow. I'm a big Marvel guy, so I don't want to overshadow the Marvel builds or compete with those. But yeah, that's yeah.
So one of the things that we kind of alluded to this a little bit a while ago when you were talking about things you do. One of the things I'm proud of doing with my streams, although I'm building a Gundam right now, but obviously I mostly mock build as you do.
Gundam. No, I'm just kidding.
Right? Yeah. I mean, you can blame Jang and Alex, for instance. Both of them have done it and kind of got me into it. But anyway, so one of the things that I'm actually kind of proud of that I do, unlike a lot of other people, although we have friends here that also do this, and you do this too, Scott, is a lot of people on Twitch, and this is not a bad thing. Again, we said this is not a bad thing, but a lot of people are set builders, and that's their bread and butter, and they can enjoy it. That's perfectly fine. That's your gravy, your jam. Enjoy it. Good for you. I totally get it. But I love sharing my mock building process on stream at this point. I actually find it to be very rewarding for people to kind of see what I'm doing, and to, if they learn something about the process, great. But I know I found that I really enjoy sharing that, and that was something I was not sure that I would enjoy when I first started doing this, but I have found that I really do.
Well, and it's, a lot of people don't realize how hard it is to share the mock process. Yeah. Because with any mock, it's not just, I mean, unless you pre-plan it, like, it's a lot of off the cuff. You don't know what works until it works. And you start with a color, or you start with a little bit of a design, and then you kind of follow through with that. But then sometimes it's, you take everything apart and you start over. Yep. And that's part of the mock process. And sometimes that is very entertaining, and then other times it's not. So that's why a lot of people don't do it. But it's really and truly an art form. And some of the stuff that I've seen you do, I mean, you talk about stuff I've done, but some of the stuff that you've done, man, is just, I mean, some of the ideas, I'm like I said, I'm taking notes, because I'm like, oh, I didn't think about that. Oh, you can do that? Well, shit. Okay. Like,
you know, I'm still learning too. I mean, I don't know if you even saw this too, but just, I don't know if we talked about this last night, but just in the last 2 to 3 weeks, I've actually gotten into doing studio, doing digital design.
I have seen that.
And man, that is so different for me to try to do things that way. And I'm trying to wrap my head around looking at things from a virtual perspective and not having the parts in front of me. It's a learning curve, and it's, my brain's still getting used to it. But I did just finish, you know, the outside shell build of a factory mock, and I'm pretty happy with it.
It's and that's the thing too. So I've done some studio work, not to, like, you know, name names or anything, but Boone actually got me into Stud.io, and he was like, dude, you got to try it. And I'm like, cool. And I tried it, and he did a few tutorials on different things, and it is such a learning experience, because the sky is the limit when you have unlimited parts.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's where it's amazing. But at the same time, it's so difficult, because if you're going from a design standpoint, where you actually, are you creating the instructions and stuff?
I'm not. No, this is just for me right now.
Well, I know some people do that. I did that for my skating rink. It's on Rebrickable. Shout out. But it's very difficult. It took me like 2 years. And so that is a whole nother Easter egg in itself. Like, you know, you start working on one thing, and Clipsy actually nailed it perfectly. Consistent problem solving. But I find with Stud.io, and I know you were using a different program, but with Stud.io in particular, it makes it a lot easier, but at the same time, you have additional problems because you're not used to having a what's it called, a what am I trying to say? You don't have the issue of, oh, I can only work with parts that I have.
Yeah.
Versus there, you can work with any number of parts, anything that you want, because it's all incorporated in there, unless they haven't done an update.
So actually, it's funny you mentioned that, because part of my strategy with when I was designing with it was I was only trying to use parts that I was pretty confident that I actually had deliberately. So I could go in and try these other things, but it's like, well, I'm pretty sure I don't have that, so I don't want to make massive part orders for this. excuse me. So I'll do this instead.
And that's where, like I said, I can't thank you and Greg enough, because the organization, because I can honestly say I wasted a ton of money because I didn't know what parts I had. And I wasted a ton of money because I'd sit there and I'd be searching and searching and searching. And I couldn't find parts. And then I would just order them. And then my luck always hit. The following week after those parts came in, guess what I found?
Yep.
A bag of 150 of those parts that I just ordered.
Actually, I think Greg can attest that he's had that luck very recently, actually.
Yeah. But now with you, like you guys turning me onto these cabinets, I mean, and I have, for the record, the reason why I have so many cabinets at this point is because I won the People's Choice Award at Solvang Brick and Builds, and that came with a $500 prize. If I had not have won that, then I wouldn't have all these drawers. I mean, and that was for my coral reef, which, I mean, I sourced parts for several years before I even built that thing, because I knew I wanted to go big, and I'm still modifying it. I mean, because I I turned around and I built the coral reef. I'm about 200 hours in. I built the coral reef, and then I was challenged to add a GBC. And then, for those of you that don't know what a GBC is, it's a great ball contraption. It moves the ball throughout the build. That's the short version. So I had to learn movement. I had to learn mechanics. I had to learn technique. And that's a whole nother problem solving aspect. And then when I finally added the GBC, it wasn't working properly. So I dismantled it and added to it. And because I dismantled it, I'm like, well, I want to have a shark chasing a submarine, or a shark chasing some fish, or movement of some kind other than the GBC. So I added that, and I am proud to say it's run for 30 minutes without an issue.
Nice. There you go.
Well, I laugh because after that, it's given me nothing but problems. But that's GBC. That's the GBC world.
No, I mean, I've heard of that. Like, there's a gentleman that's in the community. His name is Pinwheel GBC. Guess why? He's known specifically for doing GBC contraptions of all sorts, and he brings them to like Chicago and stuff. I got to meet him last year, and
see, that's one of the things I'm jealous about, because you get to go to these big events and I don't. So I get to go to the small events. You get to go to the big stuff, so I'm jealous.
Well, I mean, that's the thing, though. I'm only going to one event, though. It's basically
it's
all
the
or nothing.
Biggest event.
Yeah,
it's the biggest event.
It is. Yeah, it definitely is.
Anyway, sorry, you were talking about GBC.
Yeah, so I got to see what Pinwheel has done, and he's been a part of with a bunch of other folks that do GBC work, and the things like you see at these. I'm sure you've seen it stuff as well. But like what I saw at Chicago, and I'm just like, damn, that's freaking wild. I don't have the patience to do anything like that.
It is, you really do have to have the patience. I mean, so many times I've wanted to pick the damn thing up and chuck it across the room, but I know that if I did, I'd have to clean it up. That's my demotivation sometimes. Well, if I do that, I'm going to have to clean it up.
That's a fair assessment. I get that.
I mean, anybody who has done GBC ever knows that you could spend 5 hours on a build for it to not work.
Mm-hmm.
And it sucks. But that's part of the program. That's part of learning and growing and changing things up.
Absolutely. How's the biggest event in the U.S. is? Yeah, I mean that there are other people here, TJ, who literally live in the town where the event happens every year, basically.
You suck.
So, it's very easy to do those kind of things.
I'm heavily in support. They last year, in 2024, in October of 2024, they started Bricks Vegas, and it was their first year. It was a free event. I didn't get to go because I was booked another event, but I'm really surprised that Brick World themselves have not ventured more west than Chicago. And I know they have other Brick Worlds, like in, I think, Virginia and Pennsylvania, but you don't see them like and I know there's in other countries, but there's nothing really outside of that, which I'm very surprised about.
They've got a couple expos, just weekend events. I think they do in like Indianapolis, maybe.
Okay.
And one other one, TJ may recall what they were. But no, they don't. Because the guy that owns Brick World for what it is has chosen to keep it kind of a Midwest thing at the moment, and that's his right. That's his right. Then you have like a Brick Universe that they go around all over the place, and they have regional, or not regional, but like US events all over the place. But they're an expo. They're not a convention.
Right.
They're just a weekend show. Brick Fair in Virginia, yeah, that's basically the biggest competitor to Brick World.
Yeah,
is that one, which I talked about going to at some point. I don't know when, but it was on the radar.
Yeah, I haven't. I know Brick Slopes. They've just ventured out. They started Chicago, or not Chicago. Sorry, they were. It was Sandy, Utah for the longest time, and then now this year they started Denver.
Yep.
And then I know Bricks Cascade. I mixed some of them up. Brick Convention, I believe, is in Washington. Bricks Cascade is in, I think, what is it called? Portland, Oregon. And then we had Bricks by the Bay in San Francisco, but that went under. And then what's the other? Well, BrickCon goes around the country, but not Brick Convention. They are two different entities. But and then we had Bricks LA, which was great, but I started building just as kind of that was a thing, and then that shut down. This following year in 2026, there's a new convention company coming out, and it's Bricks A Go-Go, and they're expecting it to be bigger than Bricks LA, but I mean, it's their first year, so sometimes it could go epic, and then other times not so much.
I like the fact that at least going to Chicago right now, although it is a little bit of a trip for me, I know that a lot of folks are going to be there, so it's a chance to really connect with a lot of people.
So here's a question that I have for you. So are you flying, like, because you're helping display?
This year, yes. Yep, display this year.
So are you driving out? Or are you trying to fly with your display?
Actually, if you want to pose that to the folks in the chat too, I will answer first. So the first year I went, I flew. Last year, I took the train because I got a freaking amazing deal with Amtrak. It was like $70 each way. This year, I am displaying, and I'm going to drive, just because I feel more secure that way. Then Mempin and Miles is, I believe, also driving. He's part of the collab. Alex is a part of our collab. He just
said he's flying with his build.
Flying. Yeah.
And I'm like, so is it going to be in your personal bag? Like, because I could just imagine you checking that into your luggage and it just being ragdolled. And you might as well just take the entire thing apart and then go there the day before and rebuild it, figure out instructions, just build it there. And yes, Brickfest Live, they shut down this year. That's another one. That was a small, or not a small. That was a traveling one, and they just up out of the blue canceled all their dates, canceled contracts with the the Lego Masters contestants, and they just disappeared. It's really, really weird, and that's where Brick Convention is really taking over. At least in our area, they do one in OC. They're trying to talk to people about doing one in Las Vegas, but I mean, Brickfest Live had its issues too. When I first started doing Brickfest Live, they allowed outside vendors, and then they shut all that down, and that was probably their downfall. Yeah, it got a very, very bad reputation. But it's also, I think, people with Brickfest Live, because I was a displayer with Brickfest Live for years, and I think people thought it was going to be something it wasn't. Brickfest Live is very kid-oriented. So if you are an adult going to Brickfest Live, you're not going to have fun. It can be an in and out thing, and you're done, and you're going to hate it. But Brick Convention has really stepped up, and they've intermingled the two. They've dropped their prices because they have 2 to 3 sessions. So you go in there, and you might pay a ticket for 20 or 30, or 15 to 20 bucks, but you're only in there for 2 hours. Versus Brickfest Live, they're like, oh, it's 60, 70 bucks. And by default, you're in there for 2 hours because there's nothing else to do, if you're even in there for that. I mean, I'm just being honest. I like Brickfest Live, but at the same time, it's very kid-oriented. So if you're going to these things as an adult, you're not going to be happy. But they don't exist anymore. So
I remember, she's not here in chat right now, at least, but our friend Chris, she lived in Kansas City for a while, and she's in Texas now. I recall she went to a Brickfest Live, and she's got a younger son, and I think I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure she talked about her son thinking it was okay, but she thought it was crap because she's an adult and there's nothing really good there.
Right. So... And as an adult, she is absolutely right, because especially in recent years, because lug support, the thing with Brickfest Live is it's only as good as the lugs that are contributing to it, because for the most part, the lugs are the only ones that are actually contributing to build displays. And in the case of like Vegas, which should be Vegas, right? Like it should be the biggest event on the planet or whatever. There's only one lug. And although they do an amazing job, I'm a part of Lug Vegas, love them to death. They're my favorite lug. There's only one lug. And at the time, it's growing, right? Versus you have like Southern California, Brickfest Live in Pasadena, well, you have 4 lugs that contribute. So it's a little bit better. But the fact still stands that, well, you can walk that within 2 hours and be done. So is it really worth spending $60 to walk through a place for 2 hours? I mean, that's what you get with Disney. You spend $180 and you're lucky to get on 2 rides. But I digress. But I mean, that's power for the course, right?
I don't even remember if there was a Brickfest Live that came to my area. I know Brick Universe has been in my area.
See, we don't have Brick Universe, so I don't know anything about Brick Universe.
So that was actually the first thing I ever did go to, was a Brick Universe Expo. It was in Rochester, New York, which is about an hour away from me. I did that in April of 22, and it was pretty cool. It was definitely more impressive than what I've heard about Brickfest. But then I got to see Chicago, and I'm like, well, that pales in comparison now. So
yeah, but see, it's not a fair comparison, because that's like hitting it's not the jackpot the first time you pull the lever, right? That's not
definitely not.
That is so not fair. That's like going to Lego House before you even step into a Lego store, Like it's just not a fair comparison. But I understand the comparison, because for those of those people like you that go to the bigger conventions like a Brick Rodeo or Brick Cascade or Brick Slopes, all of those, they expect that when they walk into like a brick convention or a Brickfest Live, and are very, very disappointed really, really quickly because they don't get that or they don't see that.
Right. I'm just kind of spoiled on it now too.
Well, yeah, I mean, like you said, or like we said, it's the biggest convention. I mean, in the United States by far. So, yeah, I can totally see where. And you have, I mean, I haven't been to a Brick World. I really want to go. I just don't have the funds. So, but eventually I will. And it'll be fun because I know a lot of people who go, and I know the afterlife, or the after show life is explosive, because you have the hotels, you have people building sets that they just bought at the convention. There's all this stuff going on, and you get to meet a lot of content creators because they're just hanging out there too.
Yep. Absolutely.
And that's what brings the community together, is because there's those external factors that really play into the experience.
Oh, okay, Greg. Cool. Greg's heading down to get his setup ready in a little bit here.
Sweet. I'll actually get to hang out in streams today. Usually I'm picking up my girls at this time because their Thursdays are minimum days, so it's even earlier. Where?
Yeah, that's kind of why I brought the idea to Scott about coming to hang out, and he had to kind of arrange a couple of things to make sure he was good. But then we did make today work, so good for that.
Yeah. Luckily it's helped. My mom, my mommy, I need to just switch the viewpoint back. My mom has moved in with us due to some situations, and so she now kind of has the opportunity to go pick up my daughters. My daughter, because my oldest is a freshman. She's ending her freshman year in high school.
Mm-hmm.
My youngest is in 7th grade, but she's homeschooled right now. So that's kind of scary that I'm teaching her.
That's very, very scary.
Yeah. She's screwed.
Yep. Sorry.
That's dumb. But I mean, we're making it work. She'll end up going back next year. And I am looking for a full-time position at a few different places, so that's a factor. But I mean, and that's where there's a good possibility that my stream schedule might change.
Mm-hmm.
But we will cross that bridge when we get to it.
Right. Nicely played, Ems. Well done.
Yes.
Oh, so you mentioned the stream times and schedule and all that stuff, and you talked about how early on you were streaming a lot, which I remember, because of the time zones. It's a thing. We all understand that. There are certain times when I could catch you, and other times I couldn't because it's too late for me, being on the East Coast.
Right.
But I mean, we talked about this, where I kind of made a decision that I wanted to be consistent with my schedule, and I wanted to do a number of days every week. And I started out at 3 days. I started out at 2 days. I started Tuesday. Tuesday is the first I ever really did.
Mm-hmm.
And then I adopted Saturday morning as well, which I still hold to that. And I'm really happy that I do, because I love doing Saturday morning. And then I picked up doing Thursday. At first, Greg and I were kind of alternating, where he would stream and then I would stream the other week. But then I kind of got into this point where like I'm able to work at home for the most part on Thursday without an issue. I don't usually have to go in. So I was like, if I can finish up early enough, I can have a quick dinner and I can run up here and get on for 5 p.m. Eastern time, right? And do that for a little bit, which then gives Greg time to get off of work, have something to eat if he chooses to while I'm doing this, and then get himself ready to go at 6:30. So now we've got what we call this little double trouble thing going on, and it's been kind of fun that we can do this because it lets him have his own time, but then I've now got 4 times a week that I can enjoy doing my streaming. And I'm not usually doing more than 2.5 hours tops, which doesn't burn me out. And then I can go watch other people doing streaming and I can do other things. And then I come back, recharge when I do this again. Because for me, this has honestly become a way of escapism and stress relief where I forget about all the other bullshit of the world, especially.
Absolutely.
So I look forward to doing this and hanging out with all the people, in particular, all the friends I've made. Unfortunately, people hang out here. They keep coming back.
Yeah, I don't understand it. I don't get it. You know,
I know I question it sometimes, but I'm thankful for it though. So
yeah, no, I mean, and I kind of feel the same way. I mean, but when it comes to my presence on social media, YouTube, Twitch, it's been up and down. And this is some other advice that I have for Coaster. Her name's Emily, right?
Yes.
Did I get that right? Emily is if she's still here, don't go too fast or too much too fast. So I got in a sense, I kind of got burned out with streaming because as we kind of mentioned before, I was streaming twice a day, and I wasn't going for like an hour or 2 hours. I was going for 3 to 4 hours at a time. I mean, so when I was doing that, I would take an hour break for lunch, reset, and then go again for another 4 hours. And I was doing that essentially 4 to 5 times a week. I wasn't doing it on the weekends, but and that takes a lot. It really does. And we were talking about this last night. Just building that much, you actually have you start worrying about, well, is the content good enough? And that's not the right approach. The approach isn't, is the content good enough? Will people watch? And that's why I say the key is not to stop. Whether people, if you focus on the numbers, you're not focusing on the right thing. Just go, and if people are there, communicate with them, have fun with them. But if they're not, that's okay too. Just keep going. It's like a Dory. Just keep swimming, just keep swimming. And I do that. I mean, it's for I stream for my mental, hanging out with you guys helps, me mentally. And just like you said, or like we've said, you get lost in the sauce, and it takes you away from everything that's happening in the world.
Right. Why do I not have one of those?
It's in your left hand.
No, I think I. One,
yeah, if you've lost something, it's probably in your left hand.
Only going to, yeah, that's perfectly fine. Just kind of start out small, feel things out, see how you like it. That's what it really is.
Yeah, and if you don't like it, change it. Don't be afraid. And like I said, just keep going. I mean, that's with any build too.
So you alluded to this too, dude. So don't worry about the numbers. especially when you start, because for a lot of people, the numbers are not going to be there right away. Now, I will preface that by saying, though, too, this community in particular, from everything I've seen in the last 2 years, and especially, people rally around new streamers, especially like if a friend is going to start streaming, all of us start shutting that person out like crazy, getting them follows before they even hit the live button, right? If we know they're going to. So we've been trying to. What's up, CMA? Castle to you too. We've been
hello, CMA.
We've been shouting out Coaster for a little while now because she made her intentions clear that she wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm hoping that when she hits that button, you know, she's already going to have an audience that will show up for her because we're going to know and we're going to be there. Now, when I started, I did kind of bring a group of people over from YouTube, but it was a small group, and it took me time to kind of get things going, and I'm where I am now. But that was also 3 years ago when the community was not what it was now, where everybody shouts everybody out constantly and everybody rallies around everybody, gets them to affiliate within like a week. That wasn't the same as what it was when I first started. That was not happening that way. It took me a while to hit that affiliate mark, for example.
Well, and it was also a different community back then. We were talking about this last night. When we started streaming, it was on YouTube, which is very non-community based.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'll put it out right now. And I know some people are in here, you know, they're listening or what have you. I can't apologize enough because we were almost like, what is it? Brainwashed into a certain mentality.
Mm-hmm.
Back then. It wasn't very community. It was very what's the word? Competitive. And you had, you know, oh well, you're a competitor instead of a friend, and I had to learn. I learned quite a bit from the Twitch community because they were like, no, we are a community. We're all it's like High School musical. We're all in this together.
Like, I mean, that's not far off. That's what it kind of is become. What it's become.
Right. But it wasn't like that on the YouTube side.
Right.
And like that's where I have to, like, I know where I screwed up, and I deeply apologize to everybody because I was like, oh, you're self-promoting, like that's not cool. And in all reality, like now I'm just like, no, I want to know what you're doing. I want people to know what everybody's doing, because like I've said with a lot of the people in here, I look at your stuff and I take notes, and that's not copying. That's paying an homage to them because they're doing some amazing stuff. And we are all a community. We are all in this together.
Mm-hmm. Adversarial. Yeah. Exactly. And we talked about this last night, where it's because of the algorithm.
Yeah.
Because YouTube fosters an adversarial system.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And that's unfortunately what it is. And you have to play to that to get seen.
Yep.
And here, and KO is, if KO is still here or not, but like KO also came from YouTube, and he still streams on YouTube sometimes as well. Mm-hmm. But like we've had to kind of tell KO a number of times, like he's like, oh, I'm not sure if I'm gonna go on now because that's X, Y, or Z is on. Like, it's like, no, KO, just hit the button, dude. It doesn't matter. Yeah. There's no, like, person X does not own that time slot, right?
Right.
It doesn't matter.
But that was originally the mindset, and so it's hard to get away from that mindset at times.
Yeah.
Even years later, where I'm no longer have that mindset, it's like, oh, crap. Okay.
I mean, yeah, it's all about just hit the button and enjoy it. And whoever comes to hang out will come hang out. Just have fun. Because if you worry about any little thing with it, it's not going to be fun. It's going to defeat the purpose of it right away. Why does this not want to?
Have a good one, Dave. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you, bud. He's gonna lurk.
His president didn't say he's going off to ride.
He may have. I was missing because we were talking. I missed some of the chat. He's going to the mall.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully that mall has a Lego store. Find some good parts for us. I'm worried about what time to stream, as I don't want to take anyone's slot. Yeah, no, you're not. Nobody owns any of the slots. Hey,
That's
Mike.
the thing.
How's it going?
It's exactly the thing. Don't ever worry about taking a time slot. That doesn't matter.
Because I worried about that a lot. I mean, me and Matt, like we had conversations because I was trying to figure out what time worked best for my schedule and what worked for, different people. And there were times where it was like I was live streaming at the same time. Good to see you too, Dave. And me and Matt were like, hey, it's kind of counterproductive, and it wasn't. It shouldn't have been. But that was the YouTube mentality.
Yeah.
That was that was what we were, like I said, brainwashed into thinking of. Oh, it's a competition. We don't stream and unfortunately, I lost some good friends because of it, and that's where I can't apologize enough. And I hope they're hearing me. I really do.
Well, hopefully people will catch the VOD if they're not watching live.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Ems, you do you. That's all that matters. You do you.
Absolutely.
And the other thing too is that a lot of us here know this. Microsoft, yeah, also welcome in, dude. Good to see you. A lot of us, if you're on one of these, right, you can only have one thing open, right? We get that. It sucks. Right. Twitch mobile sucks, period. But if you're on a computer like both you and I are right now, what's the thing that everybody tells everybody to do? Open up multiple tabs and support multiple streamers.
Yeah.
Even if you can't chat, keep a tab open and lurk on them, because lurkers are just as important as the chatters, honestly.
Absolutely. We love our stalkers.
We do. We do. They matter just as much. 100%. So, Ems, we'll be there for you. We will be there for you.
So now, Ems, where are you located? What time zone and all that? Where?
She's in the UK.
Okay.
So I give her and folks like KO a lot of credit, because they are up late their time to hang out with some of us here on like the East Coast, and even folks on the West Coast. It's kind of wild.
Yeah.
They taking the Hobbit to Chicago to Chicago to Chicago. They taking the Hobbit to Chicago.
Yep. All right, so we're getting fairly close to wrapping up here in a few minutes. I was going to do Discord sharing, but since Scott and I are having a really good conversation, there's not a lot of things to share tonight. I did take a look before I went online anyway, so I'll just postpone that until next week. We'll get back to that. But I mean, I do want to take a chance again while we've got some time here as we're getting close to wrapping up to thank Scott for coming on. It's been awesome. I appreciate it.
Hey, thank you for having me. Like, seriously, we've talked about this forever, and I'm glad that that we were able to put something together. And I'm gonna lean on you on how to make this happen on my stream, because I want to bring people on. I was Matt can attest, when I brought a couple people on during celebrations, and it was just the funkiest, jankiest, crappiest way to do it. I was doing it through Discord, and screen sharing, and I knew nothing, and I still know nothing. But I can't thank Matt enough, because I've kind of touched on a little bit. There's been some issues, drama, and all that, and Matt's like, dude, we love you, and you're awesome, and you're supported. And he's been there every step of the way. There's been times where, he hasn't seen me on for a while, and he messages in me, and he's like, "Hey, man, are you okay? Like, if you need to talk, let's talk." And there were times where I wasn't okay, and there's been times where I am. So, there's, I can't thank Matt enough, because he's through thick and thin, a really good friend. So, I appreciate the fact that you've been around and that you're, having me on, and you're trying to. It's kind of like what is it? The 1920s ball. It's like a coming out, not in that term, but yeah.
Oh, Scott, look who just popped into chat. You'll know her name.
Hey, Quiligo, how's it going? Good to see you. So real quick, if I can, I screwed up on my last stream. I forgot to shut the stream off. So I rated out, and I clicked stop recording, because I record all my streams, and I clicked stop recording instead of stop streaming. So there was I think a half an hour, 45 minutes, maybe an hour of just dark room. And the funny part about it is I actually got flagged, because who I rated into was playing copyrighted music. And and I've done that in the past. I think my longest run was I let a live stream go for 12 hours. Because I forgot to shut it off, and it was late at night, and I went to bed, and then I woke up in the morning. And special shout out to Mike, and a couple others who messaged me and was like, "Bro, you're still streaming. You need to shut it off, dude. You're still streaming." So, yeah. Mama, I apologize. I know you chimed in. I saw some of your comments. I love you. Thank you so much. If I can, for all those that are wanting to chill, because I know we're wrapping up, my next live stream is Wednesday. Unfortunately, the prize was not claimed, or couldn't be claimed, because they are out of the country. So we're going to be respinning first thing. So be there or be square.
And I'm just doing another shout here for you.
Thank you
much.
Just to
make sure. Guys, I want to thank Scott for working this out with me to actually come and hang out. Again, I'm on the East Coast, he's on the West Coast, and with I'm a single guy. I don't have a lot going on. Scott's got a family and all these other obligations outside of doing this, so his time is much more challenging than mine, to be honest. So it's been a while. I'm trying to get this kind of thing to work out. He's had some other life things that have come up. But now he's kind of coming back, and he and I talked, and I said, dude, look, I want to see if we can get you on, because I kind of want to throw you out there, not throw you to the wolves, but try to get you some support and get you known among some of my folks here, some of my amazing friends, and let's get more people to know who you are as you kind of restart again. So I want you guys to make sure you're following him. Again, he's on right now Wednesdays, 9 a.m. Pacific, but if you're on the East Coast, 12 p.m. or so, for 2 to 3 hours. I'm working usually, but I will still open a tab, and I'll try to chat with him and hang out as much as I can during the workday, unless I have to go to a freaking meeting. But if you can, if you're in the UK in particular, that's going to be probably early evening. Or if you're like Dave or other people, if you can open a tab, throw some of that support, just lurk or hang out. Do that kind of thing. Show some support. That's what it's really about.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
So let's see. I got the notification Greg is going live.
Okay.
So it'll just be a minute for him for that, because he does an intro kind of like I do.
Greg. Sorry, go ahead.
Anything else you want to just quickly mention? Anything, dude? Or
no, that's about it. So I live stream. I post a YouTube short in the early part of the week, Mondays or Tuesdays. I usually try to post regular videos on Fridays. This Friday, unfortunately, there probably won't be a video because my editing computer is down. So I'm going to try to figure something else out. But yeah, I live stream Wednesday mornings, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. come hang out. I live stream for usually about 2 to 2.5 hours, depending on the situation. And yeah, I mean, I build mocks. I sometimes will do tutorials if people need to know or can't figure out how to build something. I have no issues stopping what I'm doing to help, build or some stuff like that. And let's have some fun. I love talking movies, music, Marvel, TV shows, all that, as you can see in the list down there, and of course Lego. So again, Matt, thank you so much for being here. Guys in the chat, thank you so much for chatting and hanging out and having fun. And yeah, and I can't wait. I really can't wait. I love you guys.
Yeah, thank you so much, dude. I do appreciate it. Let's see. I'm just waiting to see Greg actually go on here. His intro is not as long as I am, but while we wait for him, just a quick summary. Again, because we had a lot of great conversation tonight, I didn't get a lot done with this build because it does, you take your time with these things, but I got the legs done, and that's where they're at right now. So a little bit more progress with this guy, and I'll probably continue this on Saturday, depending on what I can't do it Saturday because I'm not streaming Saturday. That's right. Make sure you guys are following Greg, who we're going to raid to, because he will be streaming Saturday. And that's when the Laldo cosplay will be happening. So when we raid to Greg momentarily, make sure you hit that follow button if you're not, so you can catch that Saturday morning. I will be back on the Sunday morning stream.
Where's Laldo?
Exactly, at 10 a.m. Eastern time. And I'll probably work on this some more and try to get this done on that stream. He is live, so we're going to wrap this up, and we'll go hang out with him. Let me get the things ready to go here. All right. There's the button. All right, guys. Raid messages. There is the regular raid message if you're a follower. Here's the special Thursday Double Trouble raid message. You can copy pasta that one. Again, thank you to Scott for hanging out. Let's see, coming up Friday. I don't know from our little crew who we might see, but watch for Fredo and other folks that might pop on, and of course the regular community in general. Again, Saturday Greg will be on, and then I'll be back on Sunday, so watch for that. All right, friends. Let's go have some fun over on Greg's channel. And again, I hope to see you in chat over on his channel Saturday and then back here on Sunday morning. Scott, I'm going to kind of go big here for a minute while we wrap up. Just stick around. We'll chat after I'm done, okay?
Yep.
All right, guys. Stay waiting for the raid. Definitely appreciate it and hope to see you next time. Have a good one. Take care. Bye for now.